Types of communication. Communication can broadly be categorized as verbal. Any communication which involves the use of words is defined as verbal communication, and the use of words could be oral or written. Non-verbal. As opposed to verbal communication, we have non-verbal communication where no words are used, either spoken or written. Communication is made through expressions, gestures, etc. Verbal communication. Let us first learn a little more about verbal communication. Oral communication is the ability to explain and present ideas vertically in a clear language to different audience. Oral communication could be either with an individual who could be a friend or relative, with any individual in an official capacity, with a small group of persons with a large gathering. The speaker will need to adapt his technique according to the situation and the audience. The speech must be clear and the ideas well formulated. The speaker should be familiar with principles of presentation skills, audience awareness, critical listening, and correct body language. Types of verbal communication. Telephonic communication. Telephonic communication is one of the most common forms of oral communication. As in any other form of communication, in telephonic communication also there is a sender and a receiver. The sender has to be very careful that the message is well understood by the receiver. In order to have an effective telephonic communication, we need to ensure the following: clarity, the message should be clear; brevity, the message should be brief; speed, the speed of the sender should be appropriate, and he should ensure that the receiver is able to understand the words clearly. Simple language. The sender should always use easy words rather than technical jargon, which the receiver might not be able to understand. For a textile designer, telephonic communication is quite important as it is frequently used for business purposes. Written communication. Written communication means the ability to communicate clearly and effectively through the medium of writing. Written communication includes electronic communication such as email, SMS, etc. Written communication requires skills such as good knowledge of language, grammar, spellings, and vocabulary. However, even if one has limited writing skills, he can learn some basic formats or styles of writing for different occasions. Email. Email is also a type of written communication in which the message reaches the receiver electronically. The email message should be clear, concise, and to the point. The subject line should be used to inform the receiver about the contents of the mail. All emails are automatically given the date and time by the computer. It is therefore not necessary to include this information in your email correspondence. Tips for effective written communication. Communication should be short, simple, and precise, conveying the meaning clearly and effectively. Sentences should be short. There should be no mistakes in grammar or spellings. In a formal letter, do not use abbreviations or short forms. The tone of a formal letter should be polite but professional. Great care should always be taken to spell the names of people and companies correctly. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication relates to the communication of ideas, feelings, intentions, and emotions, etc. through the use of body language, gestures, and facial expressions, etc. Non-verbal communication can be conscious or subconscious. Conscious communication is that over which a person has control and which he does deliberately to communicate some message. While subconscious communication is that over which a person has no control. Conscious non-verbal communication is the ability to consciously convey messages like affection, surprise, dislike, confusion, etc. This is done using expressions, gestures, etc. While in subconscious communication, one's inner feelings, attitudes, likes and dislikes get communicated without the sender intending to do so. In fact, one may even want to hide such feelings. However, since such feelings, attitudes, like dislikes are usually quite strong, they get communicated in spite of persons' attempts at concealing them.